Here we are. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We would like to welcome Dan and Caldy, fresh from Canada, wherever Canada is.
It's cold. It's cold up here these days.
It's not very cold down here at all today, actually. And we'd like to welcome our special guest, Carl Crater, as in Copernicus.
Yeah, and he lives in California, so don't be kind.
Yeah. Oh, it's only 60 degrees. I gotta get the sweater out.
I swear to God. I don't get it.
Actually, it's 85 right now.
But... Oh, poor you. I'm so sorry.
Man, I had to, I just built myself a little cabin in the garage where I can smoke. And I have to have 2 furnaces on, okay?
I've seen him. It looks like he's a little hermit, like in one of those fishing things, where they saw the ice out of the thing.
Yeah, his house is actually built on top of a frozen lake.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't even have to leave the living room to do ice fishing. So it's awesome.
Living the dream.
And here's the guy with my favorite name.
There we go. MMP North Africa is on the way, I am told.
So supposedly tonight, we might have whiffs of Stalingrad. Is that right?
Well, I want to talk about Stalingrad, but Carl's here, so Dan has decided that we're going to talk about online wargaming events, since Carl has been involved in some of those. I think that we could talk about that.
Okay, Carl, the show's yours. Go ahead.
Everybody have a great night. See ya.
Hi.
Okay, so Carl, you're from Wargame Boot Camp. You know what? Tell us a little bit about Wargame Boot Camp, what you do and how much you get paid for doing it.
Okay. We started in 2008.
The paychecks are well into the single figures.
Yes.
I'll have you know.
I think someone gave me $1 once because they appreciated my
Here's a tip, boy. Don't take any wooden nickels.
There you go. Yeah, we've been doing the boot camp since 2008. We started with the LA conventions because the wargaming was underrepresented, really. I mean, their Eurogaming was flourishing and doing great. And
so what gives you the right to be the ambassador to wargaming if wargaming is not flourishing?
I've never been given any titles, so I don't really have any.
Okay, go on.
I just said I'm going to do it, and Tim and some other guys got on board, and we set up a format that we liked, where we just sit in the middle of a convention for 8 hours, and when you have some spare time, come by and we'll show you a game you want to see.
And are you lonely?
No, most of the time we're pretty busy. So
is it fun working at a convention all the time and not playing games like Artie?
After the room closes, everybody goes and gets drunk.
Yes. Or yeah. Well, I'm on a budget, so
it's a Wiedemann night when the money's tight.
When you buy you use your drinking money to buy games.
Yeah, I sympathize with that.
How come, Carl? How complex you guys go, man?
How many? I'm sorry, what?
How complex in a game do you guys go? Like, what's the most complicated game you had to teach?
That I've actually demoed for someone that wanted to learn?
Yeah.
Paths of Glory.
Really?
Yeah. They said, I've always seen it and I wanted to try it. And so we set them up and got 2 guys going, and just kind of helped them out when they got stuck, and they played for 4 hours.
Artie, very solidly mid complexity game. Very solid.
It was easy.
I wouldn't call it an easy game necessarily. There's a lot of fiddly little pieces in Paths of Glory, actually, but I'd call it, higher end of medium. If medium is, say, 4 to 6, I think it's a 5 or a 6.
And once you've played it a few times,
Jeff is insistent.
Yes. What Stalingrad games have
you go.
Demoed? Okay. We did show off Stalingrad 42. We did not demo it, but we had it. No one wanted to sit down and play it, but we got out the maps and showed the pieces and stuff. So that's kind of close. Trying to think of what. Oh, we did Dark Valley. Stalingrad's in Dark Valley. So
there you go. That's a big game. I'd call all 3 of those games in the same general complexity of ballpark. Neither of them are typically listed among beginner games that have to be really you know, really simple or anything like that. But I don't think any of them are monstrously complicated. What other kinds of games have you demoed at these events?
Lately, I've done a lot of Atlantic Chase because it depends on the con. Some cons we're stuck in the same room with all the wargaming, so it's you know, experienced wargamers, and like last time we were at Dice Tower and some of the other cons, we're in the middle of the Euro gamers, so it's a whole different dynamic. So if we're with the Euro gamers, we tend to kind of go for the easier stuff like Command and Colors, or I did Worthington's Wilderness Empires. I've done Battle of Britain by PCS, is the Plastic Game Company.
Plastic Soldier Company.
Yes.
Soldier Company, that's it. Acronyms are lost on me.
I hate ASL.
Yeah, well, I'm actually not a fan of ASL. I'm the combat commander guy.
If you don't like acronyms, there's an entire glossary just of acronyms.
Yeah,
Artie, you know you have a brothers in arms there. He's a monster wargamer lover.
Well, that's good. Some people have excellent taste.
I'm actually hoping to get Lucky Forward to the table.
Oh, that's awesome.
Too.
So are you involved in the hullabaloo that's coming at Dice Tower West in, what is it, April or March or April or something like that in Vegas?
Yeah, the beginning of March. Yes.
Okay.
We kind of got drafted in, but that's fine. I mean, you know, we're happy to help out, and Harold's and his gang are doing a fantastic job. And we were there right before the pandemic hit the last time and had a ball. We got like a ton of new wargamers who had never played wargames before, which is awesome.
But are they smart like we were, or are they stupid?
I don't judge people that way, but they were intelligent enough to play the games.
You know, I mean, can you imagine a little Artie coming up to you? Huh?
It's not really about smart people versus dumb people. It's about people who are with sufficient interest in the topic to apply themselves. If they're putting effort in, I don't care how stupid they are. You know, they're trying. That's the important thing.
Yeah, but how many times can I ask you what a DRM is?
Hopefully they're having fun. Well, I could choose not. I mean, if I find somebody actually obnoxious, I could choose not to play with them next time. That's a little harder to do if you're running an event at a convention. I will say that Vegas is a wonderful place to visit, regardless of whether you want to gamble or not. I'm not a huge gambler. I've been to Vegas several times. I mostly go to eat, to be honest, because there's tons and tons. It's a good restaurant. Everywhere in Vegas.
Yeah, you told me you collect the little call girl things that they throw on the floor there. You have a booklet of the pictures of the call girls.
The huh? I don't even know what you're talking about. I thought
cards. Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the little Gringo Bingo tickets that you find at the fair. I don't know what that's even called. The only name I'm aware of it is Gringo Bingo.
I don't even know what Gringo Bingo is.
It's like this little thing where you have like these 6 numbers that you peel off, and then everybody just throws the cards on the floor after they're done.
Carl, you have a fan. I didn't think
there you
go. Thank you. We really appreciate the support. There are a lot of awesome people out there
and that's a great segue into my next question.
Well, I'm going to answer Jeff Beeler's question first.
Sorry, go ahead.
My answer to that is no, I have not tried that gambit in Avalon Hill, Stalingrad, and I'm not going to, because Avalon Hill, Stalingrad is not worth my time. So there you
go. Ooh, are those fighting words?
Maybe. A lot of people liked it, but a lot of people played it when they were 6 and didn't know any better. It's busted.
So hold on a second. The first time you played it, you knew it was busted.
I've never played it. I read the rules. I know it's busted, and I've seen playthroughs that tell me it's busted. So it's just not. It's a 1965 game. It's not worth your time.
Yeah, Carl. That segue question there flew out of my head, but I think it came back.
I broke him again. So go ahead. What's the question?
I see it dangling out of your ears, trying to get out.
So, can you tell us some horror stories? We want to know the horror stories of War Game Boot Camp, please, and name names.
I'm going to guess that this is going to be world's mildest horror stories, actually. Please proceed.
Carl, please.
I will do my best.
This one guy farted at the table, and you know, like 5 times, and it was really stinky because he had eaten Chipotle right before that, and somebody had to come by and go, "Whoa, look at that, stinky! Let's get out of here."
You know, Carl,
That's almost what happened. Actually.
You gave me a sad story, you know, and this and that, but enough sad stories. I want to hear
no
a
sad story. Okay.
I want to hear a horror story.
Well, I do have a sort of horror story with an actual ASL group here in Southern California. They showed up to one of the Strategicons we were at, and back then my wife and my friend's wife were kind of manning our front desk and kind of wooing guys into, hey, you want to try a war game, which was working really well. And one of the ASL guys kind of took it a little, I guess, to heart that my wife really liked him. When
you mean she was lying?
No, she was just trying to be nice. And I guess, you know, nice to some people means more than just nice, I guess. And he, the second day of the convention, he actually brought her a bouquet of flowers.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And she finally said, listen, did you see the ring on my finger? I'm sorry, I can't. And so he figured that out. But she also, the other ASL guys, I guess some of them, I guess, were sharing a room and didn't all get a chance to take a shower every day. And
oh my God, those ASL people.
So she would run around the ASL tables with a bottle of Febreze when they weren't looking and spray down underneath the chairs and stuff too.
So this isn't a convention story, but years ago, there was somebody playing 40K at one of the local game stores who was a body odor type of person. This is way more common back then than it was now. This is like 20 years ago.
Right.
So somebody, knowing that this gentleman is going to be at the game, somebody prepared in advance. This is my buddy Eric, walks in, says nothing, takes a stick him out of his bag, sticks it under the table, walks to the other side of the table, puts the stick up under the other side of the table.
That's how much it stunk?
To decontaminate the area. Yeah, it did not completely diffuse Mr. Stinky Man's odor either. So.
What is this? You know, I used to work in a psychiatric center, and this was the negative. This was the negative effects from people with severe schizophrenia and stuff like that. Man, they won't take a shower.
Maybe they had schizophrenia. I don't know.
You know, I don't know what the deal is with that particular individual, but, you know, it is a gamer stereotype. Many stereotypes have some basis in either truth or perceived truth. This one is, you know, used to be a thing. I mean, it's not, I think, saying anything radical to say that there are many people in gaming at various levels and at various times who maybe have some issues with socialization. Right. And who don't really fully understand what is expected of them in public.
Didn't they go to school?
Yes, they went to school.
And they were usually ignored or
or kicked around or, you know, whatever, you know. So I mean, maybe if you get bad lessons, you can get bad lessons from school too, right? So
maybe that's why I don't smell. I was never kicked around.
So let's get COVID. You'll lose your sense of smell. It's great. You never have to worry about it again.
And Jeff is persistent.
How many people say Tick's YouTube series? I don't know what that is.
So that's there's a channel called TIK. I don't know if he pronounces it Tick or not. It's a individual from somewhere in the British Isles, presumably, who does pretty in-depth and pretty well-researched and fairly opinionated in places World War II topics. He did like a 30-hour series of videos on Market Garden, for example, which was pretty interesting.
I'll go check that out because that sounds pretty cool.
And Carl, are you this animated when you teach?
No, I do. Well, there's a secret to teaching, and that is don't sit down. You can't teach. You got
seriously?
No, you got to stand up. You got to move around the room. You got to do stuff. You got to point at stuff. You got to keep people moving or they fall asleep, especially when you're teaching IT.
Musical numbers are especially effective.
Yes. It's really hard to do subnetting as a musical number, though.
Fair. That's fair.
Artie, you're an IT guy too, huh?
Yeah.
You guys are brothers here, man.
Well, cousins at least.
Cousins.
I'm not technically in IT anymore. I'm more of a project guy right now. So,
Jeff's got something else to say.
Well,
For any con, the rule is 1: shower, 3 meals, and 5 hours of sleep. Don't mix up the categories.
that's true.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
I remember there was a guy at one of the cons who would get a room from the con, like at a cheap rate. He would get, he'd make a deal with the con, and he would open it up to the people who were sleeping in the lobby so they could go and shower.
Why? That's not allowed?
No, these guys would come to the con. They couldn't afford a room, so
they
they'd
sleep in the
literally
lobby.
sleep in the lobby.
Where's the security? Kick them out.
I don't know.
Grab them by the
Motel 6 has very inept security.
Yeah. Well, the Motel 6 in LA, trust me, has no security because I saw some things there that was.
So, Carl, what cons are we talking about that there's degenerates like this?
These were the strategic cons back in the early 2000s and stuff. There'd be guys that just didn't have enough money and didn't get a friend and couldn't get a room. And
So they got no friends. They stink.
We
and they
went
got
to
no
Origins one year with the actual plan of sleeping in the bushes overnight outside of the convention center. It didn't actually end up working out because those bushes were very uncomfortable, as it turns out. But we actually ended up talking to some people, running into some people that we knew, and we threw them a little bit of money to sleep on their floor. But that was our actual plan at one point, as very early 20s bozos go into a convention that they can't really afford to go to.
See, I'm being facetious about these low lives that stink and sleep in the lobby, but the hotel lets them sleep in the lobby.
I mean, it's even worse when you got leaves all over your face.
Yeah, I can imagine a squirrel coming
right.
out.
Squirrel has gnawed on your nose.
Well, man, I mean, if the convention was in California, by the way, does California have any conventions at all?
Oh yeah,
we have tons.
You have tons, huh? So if a guy sleeps outside, the scorpions, black widows, tarantulas.
No, that's okay. Our private conversations about that were in Arizona. That's not California. Okay.
Okay. So
you're mixing my states. I've lived in 3 different states. So,
and what was that again? I sincerely forgot.
So the scorpions were when I was living in Arizona. Most of the spider stories I have were when I was living in Las Vegas. When I was going to UNLV, we rented a big house, and this garage would just attract every deadly spider that Las Vegas had. We had brown recluse, we had black widows, we had, all kinds of stuff. And so I just stopped going in the garage.
I mean, I haven't traveled much. I know it doesn't show. But Las Vegas, I just seem to think it's just that strip. Who the hell wants?
Oh, not anymore.
Yeah,
there's a lot off the strip. So I mean, I haven't actually been to Vegas in about 13 or 14 years.
So what's happening in Vegas? What kind of a job can you get other than working in a casino?
Well, you could work at a casino, or you could work in an IT company that is employed by a casino, or you could work at a gas station where you sell gas to people who are on their way to work at the casino, or you could work in a grocery store where the casino employees shop for
I didn't
food.
think there was grocery stores, man.
Oh yeah, it's a big metropolitan area.
Yeah. I went to college there, man. The college moved from hotel to hotel for a while until they got it. No, I'm just kidding.
They were looking for the best buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will vouch for the Rio, which is where Dice Tower West is, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I will vouch for the Rio buffet. It's pretty good.
So, okay, hold on. Is that the Dice Tower thing you're going to, Carl? Yeah. Okay, so it's at the Rio Hotel or Rio Casino?
Rio Hotel. It's just off the strip. So if you go, this will be your first time off the strip.
And
it's not really walkable. It is just off the strip, but it's not really walkable off the strip. I mean, you can hoof it if you want, but nobody does.
The way the freeways work, it doesn't work very well.
This is going to be more a Euro game, obviously, because it's the Dice Tower. But Artie, you're saying that it's the good buffet. What you pay your room and you're entitled to the buffet, or that's an extra?
No, you got to go pay for the buffet, but it's a good buffet. So. Yeah, so I don't know what it costs anymore. Like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah. They used to have the #1 seafood buffet in Vegas. When I was living there.
And that's separate from the international buffet that was at the Rio. I think I had the best corned beef hash, which was like a homemade corned beef hash at a restaurant at the Rio. It wasn't the buffet, though.
So what am I going to pay for a room at the Rio?
It's probably pretty cheap.
Less than $100 a night.
Yeah.
I would say.
So when you say pretty cheap, like, do they have locks on the doors type things? Or do you have to bring a black light to check out the room?
No, I wouldn't do that if I were you in a Vegas hotel.
Nah.
No, that's a bad idea.
I wouldn't do it, period. I wouldn't even do it at home. But anyways, whatever.
But no, they come every 4 hours and drag you out and put you in the casino because they want you to give them money.
So the Rio has a casino?
Yeah. Every hotel is a casino with a hotel on top of it. And then what the hotels do is do their best to keep you in their hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So they do shows, they do buffets, they do, other attractions to try to get you to stay in their hotel.
So, Carl, it's not like the things I hear here in the northern hemisphere of Canada. We hear that if you gamble at Vegas at any casino, you're probably entitled to a free room.
If you gamble enough and you get their attention, you can. All you have to do is call the pit boss and say, "Hey, can you count me a room?" And he'll kind of check your, with the dealer you're at and see how much you've spent or what you've done. And if they feel that you're a valuable asset, they will do that.
If you're 10 grand in the hole, they'll totally comp you a room.
Oh, in a second. You drop $5,000, they know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're playing nickel slots, they're not looking at you, right?
Not as much.
I can lose 5 grand in 10 minutes of playing slot machines, so that's why I don't play slot machines.
Gary, you can lose 5 grand going to Compass Games in 5 minutes.
Well, that's a fair point. I almost this is but at least I got I gave FedEx the opportunity to mutilate a Foot Locker sized box of games. So
Artie, when you go to Compass Games, does John Krantz cop you a room or something? Because
that did not occur. No. It was cheap enough. It was like $89 a night after hotel tax, which in Connecticut is relatively high. I would think the Nevada hotel tax is low to non-existent. Flights to Nevada, by the way, I'm just looking at Expedia here, depending on exactly when you go. And there is kind of a sweet spot ahead of time to schedule for, like a month out is ideal. $79 to fly to Vegas from Columbus, for example.
That's cheap. Nothing.
Yeah, because they want people to come into their hotels and lose their money gambling. Remember that a Vegas hotel, which is invariably a hotel and casino, right? And to get to anything in the hotel, you want to go to the bathroom, you want to go to your room, you want to get down to the street, you want to go eat, you got to walk through the casino. So they've got a big way to extract money from you that's not the cost of the room. So those big fancy hotels in Vegas often, not necessarily always, but often the rooms are really quite cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So...
Oh, okay. So, Carl, going back to the con, going back to I was going to say the Disney con, the Dice Tower con. I imagine the Disney con. So, when is it happening?
I think the first week in March is what I want to say.
And you're there for how long?
I think it's 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's long. I know it's longer. Yeah. March 2nd through the 6th.
So, are you on the job for all those days?
Probably not the first day because we're getting in, and probably not the last day because we're getting out. But yes, we could do Stalingrad just off the strip. So
and I mean, so look, I guess you enjoy teaching, that's for sure. But I mean, you enjoy cons too. You want to play, don't you?
I do. I play demos with those people. People always ask me this. They go, "Wow, how do you do this?" And I go, "Well, Dan and Gary, they do videos to contribute to the hobby. This is what I do."
Yeah, but we get paid tons of money.
Oh yeah, into the single figures.
I get free badges.
That help? Yeah, that's something.
So
I don't even get that.
Manders is joking about Stalingrad on the Strip, which of course makes me think of a Stalingrad themed casino, which would be amusing. However, not quite, but at MGM Grand, there used to be, I don't know if it's still there. I think it isn't. There used to be a vodka bar at the MGM Grand called Red Square that had a giant statue of Lenin out front that kept getting mysteriously decapitated in the middle of the night, oddly enough.
That's bad planning, man.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, but it's slightly tasteless, but it was funny.
It was that frozen bar, right, where it's like an ice sheet and they give you ice.
I never actually went in there. I walked past it once, but I'm not sure. It might have been very fancy for all I know.
Yeah, they made like little ice shot cups, and then you could lick the bottom, and they'd stick to the wall because they were ice. You know,
that would make sense. Thematically, that would make sense. Drink vodka and Russian winter.
There's so many crazy little things in Vegas that they do that you know, if you got to go around and look. There are bars. There was a bar I was at once where it had a perfect acoustic dome above it, so that people that were sitting like, you know, 10, 12 meters away from you in this big round bar, you talk to them and it would sound like you were sitting right next to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got like, you know, God, I'm suddenly blanking the pyramid, the
Egypt
Luxor.
Yeah, the Luxor. They used to have a river that went around the base, and they would do a talk about Tutankhamun's treasures, and you know,
and the Book of the Dead and all that stuff.
Oh,
I took the Nile tour through the Luxor. It was so cheesy. A lot of it's really cheesy. Doug mentions that the Rio is advertising $29 rooms. So per the travel site. So
seriously,
that's really cheap even for Vegas, but I'm not
what kind of
hugely
room you
shocked
get for $29?
It's a perfectly decent hotel room. It's just as nice as a room you'd get at a Hampton Inn somewhere.
Yeah. What do? You put your stuff in it, you sleep, you go downstairs. That's it.
Artie, would you do me a favor, since you're quick on the draw on the internet? A flight from Montreal to Vegas. What is it going to cost me?
I don't know. Let me use the Google machine.
The Google.
That mysterious Google machine.
And so, Carl, let me fill in the void here. How your days? Let's say, do you have an agenda? Are your days planned out?
Yes and no. We're there for 8 hours. We're available whenever someone has free time and wants to walk up, which I found is the most confusing part of what we do. No one seems to understand it.
So if
thinking we have a schedule, the whole thing is we want to be open so that, like, you play a game and you've got like 2 hours till your next event you want to go to or whatever. You come by the boot camp and, you know, check out what we do and maybe try a game you've never tried before.
And what happens if nobody shows up?
That's never happened.
Really, eh?
I mean, we've had some breaks in the middle of the day where everyone ran off to lunch, and so we were like, okay, we're gonna take a break or something, maybe for an hour or two, but that's about it.
$200 to $300 to fly from Montreal to Vegas, by the way.
That's it.
That's not terrible.
That's not bad considering you're crossing a border.
I looked at trying to fly out to Compass Expo, and it was like $600.
It was in California.
With all the fees and taxes and all the other nonsense, it was like $165 for me. Yeah. You know, it's a big reason why I went.
$300. So that's not including the fees and the taxes and all that, right?
No, that probably does include the fees and the taxes, actually. I'm looking at Expedia, which, you know, you might be able to find better prices somewhere else. But
wow, Carl, maybe we'll get to see each other
sooner.
soon.
Your flights now, everybody, come on.
And I just thought about it. Vegas.
Those are direct flights.
Yeah, Vegas doesn't do a lot of layover stuff because Vegas is a major hub for.
Because if you're in somebody else's airport, you're not losing money at the casino. Right. There are slot machines in the Las Vegas airport. If you don't know,
there are slot machines at the AM PMs.
That's true. Vegas. Yeah, do not gamble in the slot machines at the airport or at the gas station or the grocery store.
Yeah,
why?
Those are sucker games.
Yeah.
We got a question from Jeff Beeler. What's the best war game on Stalingrad? You taught newcomers there, Carl.
Pavlov's House.
I'll go with that. I don't have a ton of Stalingrad games in my that I have. I have a few.
So let's say I'm a Stalingrad freak and I bring, I don't know, Stalingrad Monster. Can you teach me how to play it there and then?
Yeah, if you warn me and let me read the rules, sure.
So Dan's going to show up with Streets of Stalingrad.
Okay, I'll download the rules.
SPI?
No, that's
a bunch of different people.
Yeah, it's been published by several folks. The last edition was from L2, and it's like a big 6-map Stalingrad game. It's at like the Platoon level or something like that. It's crazy. Might be companies. I think it's companies.
Okay, I'm glad I've got you two guys, and us three, and you two guys are part of the us three. Lightweight Stalingrad. Hold on a second.
Stalingrad Besieged. That sounds familiar.
Okay.
Is that it? Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
so that looks like a Worthington deluxe publication.
Oh, you don't know what the Artie?
I'm telling you, it's for Worthington. Is it from Worthington?
No, I know. But have you played this game?
No.
So, would you consider this a war game?
Sure. I mean, from what I know of it, which is not that much, sure. I mean, I have pretty firmly staked down on the ground that I am disinterested in arguing what is a war game and what is not. If it is close enough, I'm happy. If you want to call Twilight Struggle a war game, fine. If you don't think it's a war game, fine. I don't see any profit in having an argument about it.
You're boring like Carl now.
So sure, I'm happy to call that game, even though it's a Lou Pulsifer design, a war game. And that's a little backhanded at Lou, I suppose. That sounded really more backhanded than I wanted to, actually.
I know.
Lou has done some very, very well respected and well liked games. Let me put it that way.
Actually, I don't know if this game.
Some of which are absolutely war games.
This game could be played 3 different ways, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, 3 different ways.
What does that mean?
Hold on. I think you could play with chits, with cards, and with your mama. No, and
yes, with your sister's ass.
And blocks.
And there it is.
That sounds like a gimmick to me, and that's driving up the price of the game. I don't know. I mean, maybe it works great, but there's no reason you can't do that anyway. What's the real difference between blocks and counters? The blocks stand up. You can have all the same information on them if you want. There's not really a difference. If I have 4 if I'm playing commands and colors, it's got blocks. All it really tells me is there's a unit in the hex, how many steps are left in the unit, and what type of unit it is. I could put that on a counter or 4 counters or whatever. So that's
Pavlov's house.
That's an absolutely cosmetic thing. That it happens that some games work better with blocks because of the scale and stuff like that. But we'd have a hard time doing Case Blue as a block game, for example.
I've played Columbia's Eurofront, and I actually have a friend who can memorize where the blocks were. So it becomes superfluous after a while. Yeah, we would literally have to pick up all the pieces in one space, shake them around, put them back in the hex. So he didn't know which one was which, because you lay them down to combat and then you bring them back up, and he would have them all memorized. Yeah.
There you go. Canadian block war game goodness.
There you go.
Canadian.
It's made by
Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh, the actual material.
No, the Columbia Games is Canadians.
The Dalglishas are Canadians.
Yes.
Someone's flying in the air behind you, Carl.
I know.
The address on the box will show Blaine, Washington. If you look at Blaine, Washington, it's literally 1 foot across the border. If you step over the border up there, you step into the United States, you'll step into Blaine, Washington.
So the Dalglishas are Canadians.
Yes, I've told you this like 3 times.
Yeah, but come on.
I'm sorry, but way more than 3 times.
Wow. And the thing is I've asked them for interviews and they've never answered.
Tom's really busy, and he's, I mean, I don't want to blame this, and this is probably not going to sound all that polite, but Tom is old. And he's got a lot on his mind running the company. If you want to talk to somebody, talk to Grant. Grant will probably be happy to work with you.
Grant, eh?
Yeah,
Yep.
Grant came to a Strategicon, and I met him, and He was a cool guy. He even
Yep.
dressed up like a referee and ran a slap shot tournament.
That's Canadian.
And he wore roller skates and everything. So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've worked with Grant. So
okay, so it's funny. The Dice Tower is going to Vegas.
Well, it's been in Vegas for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but Tom is a I think Tom is a minister.
I think
so.
I talked to him. I've never discussed religion with him.
He's a super nice guy. Okay, but why would he go to Vegas? I mean, that's the debauchery of the world. Pit.
That's a little overrated now too. Actually, Vegas has gone through periods where it tries to be super duper family friendly, and then other periods where it's like, shh, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I've heard that.
So,
which is an absolute lie.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah. You know, I'll tell you this: herpes won't stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
No, that the women are they're inspected, they're clean, and they have a
that's illegal in Vegas. Actually,
herpes
gotta
go in the city limits. Yes, in Clark County.
Clark County.
But if you go outside Clark County, which isn't that far. In fact, the Old Town Vegas is outside.
In fact, there's a shuttle that will take you there.
Yeah. The whole original half of Vegas is not in Clark County. The dividing line is the Sahara Road, where the Sahara Hotel used to be. I don't know if it's still there or not. But if you go west out of the city, you find like the Chicken Ranch and all that other stuff people talk about.
What's a Chicken Ranch?
So brothel.
Oh, we don't have those in Canada.
I'm pretty sure
bet you do.
No, seriously, these are legal brothels?
Mm-hmm.
So in Nevada, it is up to, there's no state law against prostitution. So it is up to the county. So it is illegal in Clark County, where Las Vegas is. And I think it's illegal in whatever county Reno is in too. I have no idea. But there are counties where it's legal, including some pretty close places to Las Vegas. I've never partaken of this particular service, but I've watched the show on HBO. So
I went once and I chickened out. So, but that was when I was in college.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah, there you go, Tom. Yeah. And you know what? I met Tom.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh.
What a nice guy. He works like crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy to work that much. He's crazy.
We're all crazy.
Tom's
making the big dollars. We're doing this for nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's
crazy now.
Well.
Yeah, exactly.
But he walked up to us out of the blue, said, "Thank you. We're really happy you guys are here." He was like a little gentleman. Yeah, he was a great guy.
And so, okay, I'm interested in the Chicken Ranch and why it's called the Chicken Ranch. What the people
don't
know?
So I guess I haven't the vaguest idea.
What, the people don't cut their toenails? It's like chickens, or what?
Well, I think it's what Von Deacon says here in the chat. Actually, I think he's probably onto something. But I don't know, and B, have not been sufficiently interested to research the topic. So
yeah, they could have called it the Chick Ranch, but they called it the Chicken
Ranch.
Well, there's a bunch of different ones too. I don't know.
Most of them have closed down, from what I understand. But
I imagine COVID has been very hard on that particular industry.
Okay, sorry, we went off topic. It was supposed to be Stalingrad, then Carl came over, and
that whooshing sound you hear was the sound of our topic for the week escaping.
Don't worry, Jeff. Artie tells me that he's sincerely thinking about it next week. Sincerely.
Thinking about what?
Stalingrad, for God's sake.
Stalingrad. I keep want to talk about Stalingrad. Somebody asked about Euro Stalingrad games, and I can think of one, but I can't remember the name of it actually, because it's a Euro, so I immediately forgot about it after hearing about it. So, but that there is one that I can think of. So,
don't know.
So yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Could we not?
All right.
Market Garden. We could try that.
I'm going to talk about the. So there's actually a Market Garden brewery in Ohio, of all places.
Wow!
And I brought their beer to the Market Garden game that we ran at Winterfest last in 2020. So That
what
was
is the
neat.
label? What do their labels look like? What, guys hanging from steeples?
It's no, that was the longest day anyway. But
Okay.
there's no, it is not an Operation Market Garden reference, as it turns out. It's like the street the guy grew up on or something like that. So maybe indirectly, actually.
It's like calling your kid Benito or Adolf. There's no connection. You know what I'm saying?
There's no connection.
I don't know. I've never met a kid like that.
So. Carl. So okay, it's 4 days there.
Yes.
What's the plan? What's the next con you guys are going to be at?
The Gauntlet in Santa Clara, which is right next to San Francisco.
And population of that con?
Pre-COVID, it was like 600-700.
That's pretty big for a gaming convention.
Well, for California, it's huge because
and this is just war
everybody
games?
in California has something better to do.
You can go surfing.
Huh? No, not just wargaming. It's role-playing, miniatures, wargaming, and some Euros.
So don't forget, there's Harold's, whenever we have conventions down there again, the actual live San Diego Historical Games event, which is not, it hasn't always been online. There's DundraCon in San Francisco. That's still happening. And I know there's at least one down in the vague area of LA too. So, and it wouldn't surprise, well, there you go. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's something going on over by Fresno.
The guy who I work for that does Pacificon has SACCon Conquest, which is near Fresno, and another one. And then he's starting the Gauntlet.
The guy with the Pacificon, his name is
Gabriel Vega. Everybody calls him Mondo.
But there's another guy who's in touch with me sometimes when he does Pacificon.
One of Mondo's lackeys.
He's a musician.
Okay. I don't know the entire staff.
Well, gee, Carl.
So Carl, Pacificon. What's the population of Pacificon?
That's the one that I just said was about 700 people.
Did you KublaCon? Daniel Silverthorne mentions
KublaCon.
KublaCon too.
I've never been to KublaCon.
Yeah.
And so what's DexCon?
Don't know.
I will mention, Mike Anthony alludes to this in his comment here. GMT is located in the general area of Fresno, and two of the three individuals that founded GMT, whose names I can never remember, went off to form the Fresno Games Association, of legend for their scintillating quality products.
I don't know of them.
They vanished pretty fast because their products are in fact shit.
Yeah, he was
so
leading out. I was just at GMT for the weekend in the warehouse in October.
And how was that, Carl? I've always wanted to go.
Oh, it's awesome.
And, Artie, how come you never been?
Because it's in California and it costs like $500 to fly there.
But if it costs you $79 to fly to Vegas, how far is Vegas from California?
6 hours.
That's a long drive.
Or I'm sorry, 4.5 if you do it. I used to drive back and forth between Vegas and California.
Okay, but once you're
that's not up by Fresno either. That's driving through Death Valley. So
that's I-15 straight down.
And you're driving through Death Valley?
Yeah,
you can.
You pass through the opening of Death Valley. Yes.
Is it fun? Is there sights to see?
Yeah,
I'm not going to a place called Death Valley. Are you nuts?
I have been through Death Valley, actually. You are required by law, totally not wargaming today, but you're required by law to carry a certain number of gallons of water in your car per passenger, just in case you get broken down.
So how do they regulate that? How are they going to regulate that?
I don't know. They're like rangers and stuff. It's a park.
Yeah. And there's like one gas station in the middle of Death Valley where gas is like $9 a gallon because it's literally the only gas station within 150 miles.
That's cheaper than here.
Yeah, it's scenic in a exceptionally flat, dry way.
Is that where you do peyote and you take sweat sweat lodges and all that. And
Well, I did sweat when I was there, but I did not have peyote. No, we did not bring our. You got to bring your own peyote, and it doesn't grow there. I don't even know what peyote like botanically is, to be honest.
It comes from the agave plant.
I think I saw it in a Cheech and Chong movie once, but that's really all I know. It's just this is not. Look, you want to ask me about Stalingrad? I can give you ideas. You ask me about peyote or magic mushrooms or some shit like that. I'm not your guy, so
I'm not going to do it in Death Valley. That's
that sounds like a terrible idea.
That
sounds like some Jim Morrison level shit right there.
Yeah, isn't Burning Man in Nevada?
I think so.
Yeah.
And the U2's there too.
No. There's a park actually that I live like 20 miles away from. It's near Palm Springs. It's called Joshua Tree National Park.
I have heard of that.
Where the album inspiration came from.
Yeah, look at Kyle. Kyle knows some kind of cactus. Yeah, I think it's the agave plant, man.
Well, peyote is, yeah.
I thought it was some kind of poop. Actually, I really don't know.
No, that's the mushroom thing again.
Okay.
Artie, are you going to GMT East?
Not a chance.
You're right in the middle of like nowhere.
Oh, it's drivable. So that'd be about an 8 or 9 hour drive for me. White Plains is right out. As I've been informed sternly by my viewers, White Plains, New York, is in fact not upstate New York. At least if you're in upstate New York. If you live in Manhattan, it's probably upstate New York. But it's like right outside of New York City. So that's an 8 or 9 hour drive for me.
I'm planning on going in, and it's going to be an 8-9 hour drive for me too.
Well, you got to drive around the Great Lakes, so that doesn't surprise me all that much.
I'm going up the Adirondacks.
Are you going through Buffalo?
Yeah.
Well, you got to stop and get some wings on the way then.
Oh, for God's sake.
Actually, if anybody's traveling through Buffalo, we're going to talk about food again here for a second. Do not bother with the buffalo wings. You can get good buffalo wings in LA if you want to. Get a beef on weck, which is a traditional buffalo Western New York specialty, and it's amazing if you get a good.
Say that again. Beef on
weck.
What's a weck?
It's like a Kaiser roll that's covered in salt and caraway seeds.
Ooh,
it's good. It's really good. We used to have a place you could get them in Ohio, and they don't have them anymore. So
Timon here. Timon's got he's got a cold happening here.
Okay.
They run 3 conventions in February. It's President's Day, Veterans Day, and Memorial Day.
These are some exceptionally motivated people here.
Yeah.
No, but, so how many people go to these cons, man? Hundreds?
Well, these particular cons, the one OrCon, which is President's Day weekend, I think the last time I was at it was 6,000.
Well, that's
6,000.
I think. It was well over 2,000 or 3,000 for sure. I heard a number 6,000. I don't know how accurate that is. There were a lot of people, and they're a pretty big hotel.
Do you know? Going back to the Dice Tower, do you know what the fee for the Dice Tower is? I don't know.
For you or for regular people?
Yeah. For me, I want to go. I want to pay.
Oh, okay. It's extra fee for you, but no, I don't know. I don't work for them, but I think I saw something that said 4 days was like $100 or something like that.
130 for 5 days and 90 for 3 days. Now, Dan, I'm guessing because Origins, which is a bigger convention than Dice Tower West, does this for me. I'm guessing that if you contacted the organizers, you would be able to get a press badge of some kind.
Yeah, probably. I was just curious of the price because I know WBC, I think it was $80 for a week, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a really good price, actually. I think. I mean, Origins is $50. A 4-day convention really is not going to be less than $60 now. But if you go to like Dragon Con, it's probably $200 for the 4 days of Dragon Con. I mean, I don't know, but because I've never been to Dragon Con, but I know it's more. Like media conventions tend to be more. If you go to like a Comic Con or something, like the price will blow the top of your head.
I know. I took 2 of my kids to the Montreal Comic Con. I freaked out.
Yeah, so if you got, I mean, the absolute floor for a 4-day convention, as far as I'm concerned, is about $60. If there's one out there that's cheaper, good for them if they can afford to operate at that price. But then here in the real world, that's about as low as it goes. So the 5 days for $130 is, I think, completely reasonable.
Yeah. So, you know, a $300 weekend with room and badge, that's you know, pretty average
for a small extra fee. They will take you out back, hose you down, and delouse you.
Yeah. But I will say this now. Anyone who goes to Dice Tower, I will take them on Saturday night to the Earl of Sandwich.
Which is this a famous local delicacy?
Sort of. It's a sandwich shop, kind of like a Subway or a Schlotsky. But it has like, you've never had Schlotsky's? Wow.
Schlotsky's is a Jersey thing, isn't it?
Well, they had them in California for a while, but then they shut down.
Okay.
It is the best roast beef sandwich I have ever had, and Tim, the British guy, agrees with me, and he never agrees any food thing with me. So
I'll put the beef on Weck up against that.
Well, okay, we should do that sometime. Maybe we can figure out a way to.
Also, Chicago Italian beef, if made right, is also really good. But if made wrong, it's kind of gross too. So
yeah,
so there's that.
Live there, so we've had those. Those are good.
Are you guys planning on going to WBC?
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
Marty,
I am almost certain to go. It might be a day trip. It might be like a Saturday or Friday, Saturday type of thing. But yeah, I'm at this point. You know, you never know. I could get hit by a truck, but I'm planning to go. The Stalingrad buffet
at the Volga Value Meal
on the Volga.
There you go.
Buffet on the Volga.
I love that, man.
You got to dodge the snipers to get to the soup.
Oh man. Okay. God, did we go off topic?
Oh Jesus, yes.
What was the topic?
It was supposed to be digital conventions, which we didn't, because we had Carl, and we didn't even talk about that. We spent a bunch of time talking about hookers and blow in Las Vegas. So
peyote.
Thanks, Dan.
No,
that's ridiculous.
We're totally unscripted here, folks. Just in case you hadn't noticed, I wanted to make that clear.
And do the hookers come with a little baggie?
I haven't the vaguest idea.
Well, you said blow.
No, but when you go there to the chicken ranch, they have a menu.
Carl, can you get me a menu?
No, I don't even live there.
No, but you're going to the chicken ranch, right?
What? No,
to Vegas. I mean, you're going to Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas. It's like a 2-hour drive outside of Vegas. I'm not going to go.
How do you know it's 2 hours, Carl?
Absolutely
because
not.
I took a drunk friend there once. I told you that. And then I chickened out.
Also, I don't know if you know this, Dan, but Columbia Games is run by Canadians.
I didn't know that.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Does Columbia Games have a con?
No. Well, not that they've told me about. So, and I would hope that they would have told me if they had something in the works. I know a lot of publishers, not just even in wargaming, a lot of individual sort of smaller market publishers are now doing their own conventions. Chaosium, an RPG publisher since the mid 70s. Which is still around, still exists. Now they're in Ann Arbor of all places. They used to be in California, but you can't afford to run an RPG publisher in California now. So, but they're having their own convention in Ann Arbor early next year. So, of course, this has been happening in the wargaming space for a long time. There's a Compass Expo that I've been to. There's MMP's Winter Offensive, which has been going on for a long time. There's, WBC started as Avalon Con, now that I think about it.
No, I think, wasn't it Gen Con started as Avalon Con?
No, that was Lake Geneva Con or something like that.
Well, it was called, the first one is like, I think the first one or two are literally at Gary's house. So, it was like 30 people or something like that. But it's a play on the name of the place where it was held, Lake Geneva, right? And of course, it's the Geneva Convention, but it's Lake Geneva, right? So it was a bit of somewhat unclever wordplay on Gary's part to do that. And now, of course, talking about Gary Gygax.
And why was that bad to call it Geneva? Why people
It wasn't bad. I'm just not sure it was quite as clever as Gary thought it was.
I don't see. I missed something. I don't see anything clever about Geneva.
Gary lived in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Right.
And people came from as far away as like Chicago and Minnesota to the first couple of Gen Cons. And so it was called the Geneva Convention because it was in Lake Geneva, Gary, you know, at Gary's house or at the local horticultural hall or something like that. And there's a book called Playing at the World by John Peterson. That's a really good history of early D&D. And I think his new book is probably even better for that. And TSR.
I just ding. Is Gen Con called Gen Con because it's in Geneva?
Because it was originally in Lake Geneva, yeah.
Look at that.
But it hasn't been in Lake Geneva since I want to say the early 80s. And it hasn't been in Wisconsin at all in about 20 years. So
there it is. Geneva Lake Gaming Convention.
Something like that.
Sounds reasonable to me.
See, Jeff wants to know about the Chicken Ranch.
So
why is it called the Chicken Ranch? Because I guess back then farmers didn't want to tell their wives where they were going, so they were going to the Chicken Ranch.
You see, man, that's cool.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
that is a believable story about how the place got its name.
Good, I totally made that up. I have no idea.
My girlfriend, wife, fiance, in Nova Scotia, they have the club called the Liars Club because the husbands tell lies and they're going to go to the club, and it's actually called the Liars Club. Whatever. I thought it was funny.
There's a strip joint here in California called the Library, so that guys can say, "Oh, honey, I'm going to the library."
Why do you call it library?
Because I'm Californian.
No, but I've heard this. I've watched a few movies, and they're saying, "We're going through the library." It's a library. Ugh.
There are many. Most people don't say February either.
Yeah.
Most people say February.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
But I know how the month of February got its name from the festival of Februarius. So I say February.
Very, very good.
I'm done. Wow.
I'm just saying, ancient Roman festival.
I know man, look, there used to be Esther, the goddess of whatever, but some pagan goddess named Esther.
Oh, I thought it was Esther at the Chicken Ranch.
I thought it was the Ann Esther from Stanford and Son.
It might be.
You ugly spasm!
Okay, I mean, next week we got to have a topic. I mean,
clearly we're not going to talk about Stalingrad, are we, Dan?
He just asked me if I wanted to show up.
Manders has the right idea. Next week's topic will be Gettysburg, so we'll be talking about food and hookers again. So, in our usual structured format.
Oh man! I mean, look, Garrett. Next week it's at your house, so you got to think of something clever because
I'm laughing hardest at John Longshore's comment, General Washington, which you got to be a Midwesterner to fully appreciate. Yeah, I got to go put my pants in the wash.
That's how he would pronounce it all the time.
There is a bar, as Fucko points out. There is a bar in Columbus called the Library, which I
what happened? What happened?
It's right by Ohio State. I've never set foot in there.
What happened to Carl?
We've probably scared Carl away.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That's what Esther said. That's what Esther said at the Chicken Ranch.
Yeah,
Val Reese is like, boy, this stream sure was something. Thanks, guys.
I thought he split. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I can't see the chat, so I was trying to figure out what everyone.
On the right hand side of the screen, there's like a private chat column and a comments column. Click on the comments column. That's live comments. Only Dan can highlight stuff, I think.
I think so. And some guy wants me to say this.
Oh,
Board Game Bloke wants me to say about.
Dan talks like he's from the Bronx, not from Canada anyway.
I'm not from Eastern Canada. I guess Quebec is Eastern Canada.
Canada, or
we're
as we like
here.
Canada, or as we like to call it, North Minnesota.
I was listening to a pipe philosophy. It's this guy talking about pipes and all that. I do that. I sit down, I smoke a pipe, and I listen to a guy talk about pipes, right? And this guy is from South Carolina, and he's got the drawl happening. And I was asking Carl, is it true? Like, do they really speak like that?
He thought he was faking it.
Because I'm trying to catch him say a word different.
You don't do that on television. Southern
We
people will kill you.
We only talk like that around those damnable Yankees.
No, but look, I think it's awesome that that there's that wicked of an accent. But I have to ask myself.
Welcome to the North American English Sprachraum.
Anyways, guys, it's an hour. I gotta watch the pipe guy talk because I wanna understand.
Apparently, if you smoke a pipe, you automatically know philosophy.
I'm telling you, man.
That's true. And when you start smoking a pipe, they send you a sport coat with patches on the elbows.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, people in chat, sorry, already got off topic a lot. Carl was talking about Esther at the Chicken Ranch. I wish we could be serious. We'll probably be serious next week at Artie's house. So thank you for coming, and I'm gonna try to end this like this. Guys, wait.